on the East Coast. Jeremy Fowler is going to be joining us here soon. New friend for us, Jeremy Fowler, and we like to make sure we rely upon his expertise, huh? So before we move along emotionally to Thursday night games, which will kick off week 2, let's just take a gander back at what happened over a very eventful week 1. And we start with QB1 in Cincinnati.
Getting some reps of real game-like operation is certainly beneficial.
It's always good to just be in the game, have that game environment. I feel be live again as a quarterback.
He was having fun today, and that is so cool. And I thought he really functioned at a high level.
Definitely not up to standard, not even up to par. It was great to get out there, get my feet wet.
It was the right read, it just slipped. So that's what makes me be mad a little bit because of it.
Whether today went really great or whether it was a great learning opportunity, we continue to move forward. But I thought it was a great step in the right direction for him. Very happy for him.
Look, I had a lot of fun out there. I miss football.
I love Fernando with the buttoned-up player engagement polo. Very official. Yeah. Very, very necessary for Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 overall pick to fill out. Exactly. Can't wait to watch you play this weekend again. We all miss football, as Joe Brady so eloquently said. So let's take a look back. Biggest winners from the first week of the preseason, Manti. It's been a couple days worth of football now, and you've had some time to digest it all.
Yeah, and people who thought that Dejon Stribling was the biggest reach in recent history in the draft had some time to digest as well, because the biggest winner would have to be Dejon Stribling and the Niners front office. I remember around the post-draft process, the big conversation was about John Lynch, and he's good at drafting guys later in the draft, but he's not really good at drafting guys in the first and second round, where he goes and drafts Ole Miss wide receiver Dejon Stribling. And everybody on the NFL consensus big board, whatever that is saying that this is the biggest non-quarterback reach, one of the biggest non-quarterback reaches since 2016. There are also some tweets that said the following, and I will get to this as these graphics come up, of all the people that had something to say. Jawan Jennings left in free agency, but if you look at the middle, it says, use its first draft selection on Stribling at pick 33. The Stribling selection was a bit of a head-scratcher.
No.
He'd been a late riser, but this was a reach. And reaching in draft is bad process. You know what he was reaching for in week 1? For a lot of footballs. He was targeted 8 times, had 7 catches for 63 yards. This was another one. Biggest move, signing Trent Williams. Move I liked. Signing Mike Evans. Move I disliked. Drafting Dejon Stribling with the first pick in round 2. There are so many comparisons this past week and this past weekend of Dejon Stribling. Everybody was saying, does he remind you of somebody? I was like, who does this guy remind? Some guys were comparing him to Julio Jones, Jamie.
Oh.
And some Niner fans were
careful.
Some Niner fans were saying that he looks like a young Michael Crabtree. And so for somebody, KB, who after the draft process was looked at as one of the biggest reaches, KB, the only thing I saw him reaching for were 7 of those 8 targets and a lot of first downs. So congratulations to John Lynch. They should make a big shirt that says, "In Lynch we trust," because he continues to put a lot of talent in San Francisco 49er uniforms, and I love what they got out of the Ole Miss wide receiver.
Yeah, I like some goodwill for the 49ers, too. I feel like they deal with a lot of pot shots, jinxes, and all this type of crap. And I'll give them some goodwill here, too, by talking about Sean McVay now. Sorry, 49ers, no. You got 30 seconds of goodwill. Now I have to talk about McVay. But, I mean, this is the answer. This is the biggest winner. Sean McVay's got the dream team. He's got his young quarterback project who came out and played really well. You got a win in Arrowhead. There's been no cataclysmic injuries. And don't you feel like this is the moment, and maybe this is the season that Sean McVay was born for? Like, I feel like he was put on his planet to be the captain of this ship. And if the ship wasn't already the most beautiful ship in the league, there's all these constant talks and rumors and scuttlebutts about, oh, Sean, are you also going to add to this ship maybe a top 10 football player at any position ever? Give it up. Is Aaron Donald going to be a Ram, Sean? Just tell us. Go ahead.
We've had great dialogue. It's going to be on his timeline, and when he feels good about having clarity, whether that's a yes or whether that ends up being a no. We've had some tentative discussions behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff without getting too granular with it, and just out of respect for, the dialogue that he and I have, that I do think he's earned the right. I think our guys are doing a great job of focusing on what they can control, and that's our current team as it stands right now. If Aaron does decide he wants to do it, I've been very open that we want to try to be able to explore that opportunity.
God, that's a lot of words for a lot of BS.
Yeah.
We had, granular was in there, some great discussions, some great dialogue. He's just spitting out the same thing. And I'm kind of reaching the point, I don't know if you guys are with me. I'm tired of being led around and or lied to, like that this is not going to happen. We've had 2 tryouts for Aaron Donald, and I feel like it's the celebrity couple who refuses to admit that they're a couple. No, we're just friends. We're not together. We have paparazzi pictures of you guys walking around the farmer's market with your hands in the other person's back pocket. You're a couple. We know you guys are a couple. Stop saying it's granular and great dialogues and just say, yeah, he's going to be a Ram. We don't know when he's going to show up, but we know it's happening. They won't do that. And they're just jerking us around with all of this talk of dialogue and granular. Enough with the granular. I'm past granular. It's not August 1st. It's August 18th. Let's make this happen. Next.
Kyle, I could not agree more. It reminded me of like those friends that you just know are going to get married 10 years from now. And you're like, can we just get this over with? And I think at the very end, the one that made my eye roll was Sean McVay saying, I would be open to having that conversation if indeed he was interested in pursuing the opportunity together. And you're like, just say it, coach. Come out with it, all right? We'd all be winners. The Rams would specifically, and the rest of the division would be challenged. Those were the biggest winners from week 1. But who did we learn the most about from the first game, from the product of? Can be a team, player, coach, Manti. What you got?
I learned the most about Jerry Jones. And around this time, last year, the documentary just came out, The Gambler and the Cowboys and all of that stuff. And, I think a week from today is when they had that Micah Parsons trade. And the conversation was, Jerry Jones, the guy doesn't care about winning. He just cares about the clicks, and he cares about the views. He cares about the brand. He cares about everything else but what happens on the gridiron. And then he signs Quinnen Williams to a major contract. They go into Seattle, who is the reigning Super Bowl champs, and Camden Brown looks like a Victor Cruz, an undrafted guy out of Georgia Southern, has 2 incredible touchdown catches. He signs Von Miller yesterday, and the thing I learned was like, no, this guy knows what he's doing. He actually cares about winning. Yes, he was getting a lot of flack last year with some of the decisions he was making and some of the drama that kind of was out there for all of us to kind of dissect. But now we're sitting here in the middle of August, getting ready for a week 2 of the preseason game. I don't think there's anybody that can say that Jerry Jones didn't know what he was doing from day one. Yes, the guy's a gambling man, but I don't think a gambling man could have predicted how well the Cowboys are doing and how well they're looking, KB, going into week 2 of the preseason. So, Jerry Jones, shout out to you.
Well, you're setting me up perfectly, Manti, because now I'll go directly to a nemesis of Jerry Jones, and I think it's the New York Giants. I feel like we've learned a lot about them in the past couple weeks, past couple days. We're going to be talking a lot of Giants this year, guys. We've been around John Harbaugh for a couple decades. We've never seen him in the New York media machine. Jackson Dart, for hopefully good reasons, maybe otherwise, we're going to be talking about him a lot. It's just this is going to be a conversation piece team, win, lose, or otherwise. And the football that we've learned about is like, okay, we want to be the most physical, the bulliest team in the entire NFL. And I love that our guys, Schrager and McCourty, went and sat down with big Project Pat Ricard, the new fullback that they took from the Ravens with John Harbaugh, who's going to be blocking for the Giants. Listen to this.
Just talk about your mentality as a fullback and the physicality that you're now bringing to the New York Giants.
Yeah, every play I'm trying to pancake somebody. I'm trying to completely demoralize, dominate. If I get a stalemate, that's a loss for me. And that's what I try to bring, and that's my expectation, that's my standard, and that's what I'm going to try to bring to this team is just every play I'm bringing it.
A little inside baseball here. I love Schrager and McCourty. You go to these camps, and the way the whole booking thing works with guests is like, we love the head coach, we love the quarterback, we love this, and like everyone wants that, and it's great. They were so thrilled to get the fullback. You can see it on their faces. Like that, maybe other outlets wouldn't be looking for Pat Ricard, but they'd be wrong because he was giving awesome quotes, and I can see how happy Jason and Peter are, but I also see how happy I am and all of us are saying that, like, we're just telling you what the game plan is. We're going to block, we're going to run, we're going to block, we're going to step on your face. Did you see who they worked out yesterday? I don't know if they'll sign. I mean, Najee Harris was working out with the Giants. Bring sand to the beach. That's exactly what he does. Najee Harris, one of the all-time leaders in angry runs. I don't know if they'll sign him, but the fact that they're even looking at him tells you everything about what that man wants to do. Yeah, we got this pretty boy quarterback and everything, but like we are going to run the bejesus out of the ball. First down, second down, third down. I'm way into it. I think we've learned a lot about the Giants. But I think we're going to learn a lot more. And you think we know everything about Harbaugh? No, New York will unlock things we have never learned about him, and I can't wait.
Gosh, I'd actually find it very challenging to find a better suited uniform to put on Najee Harris after his tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That one just fits, Kyle. Kyle, really quick GMFB history lesson. Sign him now. Kyle, 30 seconds on the fact that oftentimes you'll use a phrase that I always get kind of like the Schrager giggle about, like very giddy. When Kyle says, just let us love you, we want to love you, you're dangerously close to having the Giants become your let us love you team. I feel like because you're baiting them into GMFB, the history of the New York media markets have not been great on this show in terms of wanting to talk about them in a positive light late in the season.
Well, listen, the GMFB history of the New York Giants is not great. This is the 11th season of Good Morning Football, and if I have it right, I hope I do, I think the Giants have made the playoffs twice. There was the weird game in Lambeau where Odell kind of melted down and kicked through the drywall. And then there was the Daniel Jones-Saquon game at the Vikings where they won. That's it. I think I have that right. That's 11 seasons. The Jets are even uglier. We know that. But as I guess it used to be a lot more so New York-based morning show. It'd be nice that the New York teams would do something for us. And it's like the book on the history of the Jets and Giants of Good Morning Football is a leaflet. It's 3 pages long. You could read it during a commercial break. So it would be really cool if the Giants or Jets did something fun this year.
Somebody, let us love you. Maybe that's why they moved us to LA, so we could be close to these teams and make it to the postseason.
Show the love.
Show the love, exactly.
Coast to coast.
Head it out. We still have 2 more preseason games to go, and sometimes it's hard to have all the answers yet. So who do you still have the most questions about, though? We still got 2 more weeks to play, Manti.
Yeah, I don't really go on a lot of rants on our show, but I went on a mini rant last week when I talked about the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, you did.
My question isn't about the Cincinnati Bengals. It's to Zach Taylor specifically. Zach Taylor, what the heck is going on? The Cincinnati Bengals have missed the playoffs in 3 straight seasons. There's only 4 other teams that have done the same. The Jets, the Titans, the Colts, and the Raiders. 3 of those 4 teams had top 5 picks in last year's draft. None of those teams have a franchise quarterback yet, at least one that's solidified, and especially a quarterback that has been an MVP consideration twice. They definitely don't have a perennial all-pro wide receiver like Jamar Chase, yet they missed the playoffs in 5 of the last 7 seasons. In the last 3 seasons, they're 8-20 against playoff teams. Everybody knows about the Cincinnati Bengals slow start. This is how slow it's been, guys. Since Zach Taylor has taken over, they're 3-11 in weeks 1 through 2. 3-11. Heading into 2026, I said in my little rant, I was high on the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what they have offensively. You know what they've done in the offseason to kind of shore up that defense. And it's like, yes, this is going to be the year. And then this game happened. I'm like, bro, what the heck is going on? There's no way that outfit should be performing that way against a Detroit Lions team that played 0 starters. All your starters played, yet it looked like the starters didn't play. So that was my biggest question. My biggest question still go to Zach Taylor and what the heck is going on over there in Cincinnati, KB.
Yeah, they could go 14-3, but if they start 0-3, it's like there's this special emphasis on Taylor to start the season. It's just the storyline. It's something we all talk about. They start at home against Tampa in a 1 p.m. window. I mean, it's not like the most glamorous or daunting week 1. So you would think they'll be favored in that game. They should be at home. They should win that game. What is the question we still have most questions about? Mine is Kyler and the Vikings. So much change, so much turnover, so many storylines. And it still really boils down to this for me. Like, is Kyler good? Is Kyler great? I'm not saying he isn't. I'm saying I don't know. In 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's played less than half the year. He's just like, he's been hurt. He's been off the field. J.J. McCarthy, you hope you don't see him because Kyler Murray is going to be good and he's going to be the starter. I just don't know. There's so many questions. Like the running back is Aaron Jones, who we love. He's the RB1 into his 30s. That's cool. I love Aaron Jones, but it would be really interesting to see if there was somebody else who was going to step up in the running game. We're seeing McCarthy a lot. It's not going to be McCarthy. It's going to be Kyler. So I just don't know. He's played 1 playoff game in his career and is one of the strangest playoff performances I've ever seen. So JJ is out of the picture completely, hopefully for a long time. Especially in the North, the other three teams I feel like we know a lot about, and this team is the mystery one.
It's the same thing that you just said about the Bengals a little bit. Like, they're so talented, the Vikings are, in a lot of other phases of the ball, that, like, if they win a bunch of games, you wouldn't be as surprised. But if they lose early, you're like, oh, no, what is this? We don't know how to navigate this, considering the quarterback competition that unfolded. Well, we'll find out more in the second week of the preseason, right? It's going to give us more answers, right?
Or we'll have more
Not
questions.
stressed out about that at all. It gets started with the Raiders taking on the Texans Thursday on ESPN. And then the 49ers hanging on the West Coast will play the Chargers right here on NFL Network. And you can see that on the ESPN app. Plus, on Friday, Jets Steelers, and then Packers Broncos.